This could well be the biggest corruption scandal in modern American history, but according to the ladies of The View, it's a little more than a heartfelt story. This is about a father's love for his son, who's addicted to crack and hookers. Take a look.
The Hunter Biden story, the scandal, the this, the that, it's also the story of a father's love. And Joe Biden has never and will never give up on his son Hunter, and will never treat him lesser than. And so he is a father first. Take it or leave it. That's who he is. That is part of his heart.
Now, too bad Joe doesn't exhibit the same love for his 4-year-old granddaughter, you know, the one that he won't even acknowledge. Meanwhile, fake news CNN has exclusively apparently obtained another audio recording used as evidence in Trump's document case. It's kind of weird because there are virtually no leaks from Biden's document investigation, if there even really is one. It's almost as if we have a two-tiered system of justice, isn't it? Well, kind of shocking. Anyway, here with reaction, Fox News contributor Miranda Devine and former senior advisor to President Trump, Stephen Miller. Stephen, I'll start with you in the leak of the tape, just like the leak of every other detail to the media, seemingly from the special counsel, but only Trump's special counsel. We haven't heard a peep out of the so-called special counsel looking at the Bidens.
We've seen this for 7 long years, Sean, where the federal government, when it is persecuting, when it is going after, when it is trying to frame President Trump, they selectively leak in order to manipulate news stories, to try to poison the narrative, to try to create a false impression. And they've been doing this over and over and over and over again. Because the security state is very skilled at psychological warfare. They're skilled at the art and artistry that's often deployed in foreign countries of how to control the narrative in our country. My message to the American people is, don't fall for it. We have been watching them try to play us year after year after year, going all the way back to the Russia hoax. Then, of course, remember the Ukraine hoax. Remember, in the election year, remember the Russian bounty story, where Trump was letting Russia get away with putting bounties on our troops. Then it comes out later, that was a fake story. And, of course, we remember what they did to suppress the Hunter Biden story, and now what they are doing and have been doing to shield Joe Biden from accountability for his influence peddling with his son Hunter.
All right, let's get your take, Miranda Devine. I tried to lay out here, maybe I don't think I'm overstating the case, that our government is corrupt, that our DOJ is corrupt, it's weaponized, that our FBI at the top especially, I'm not talking about rank and file. I think a lot of them, are good people trying to do a good job, and unfortunately they don't have the leadership that they frankly deserve to restore that agency to what it once was, the premier law enforcement agency in the world. Your reaction to all this?
You're spot on, and I think we've seen the corruption of the DOJ and the top echelons of the FBI laid out in stark detail on Friday in the testimony of the 2 IRS whistleblowers who are very courageous to have come forward. And I hope that every American has their back, because they are in for a world of pain as the very expensive lawyers of Hunter Biden come after them in every single way they can, and as they are being retaliated against right now by the federal government, to which they gave more than a dozen years each of their lives. These are courageous and diligent public servants, and what they have done is they have broken ranks and been had integrity like nobody else has, it seems, in that investigation that went for 5 years into Hunter Biden in Delaware. And they have told chapter and verse about how they were obstructed and slow-walked every step of the way. And someone is lying, because Attorney General Merrick Garland has said flat out that US Attorney David Weiss did not ask to be made a special counsel. And David Weiss told 6 witnesses, according to Gary Shapley, the IRS whistleblower, that he asked the DOJ if he could be made special counsel so he could override the Biden-appointed US attorneys in D.C. and the Central District of California, who refused to allow them to bring charges against Hunter Biden in their jurisdictions. So someone is lying, and I believe that the Republicans in the House will be hauling those people in to testify under oath.
Yeah. All right. Let me go back to you, Stephen Miller, because this is now impacting the 2024 election. And in a lot of different ways. I mean, so you got the DOJ protected Hillary in 2016. Donald Trump was able to win, but clearly they were working against him, and they were even willing to use an uncorroborated, frankly, unverifiable, or in the words of Durham, they couldn't even prove a single thing in that dossier. Nothing. And Operation Crossfire Hurricane never should have opened up. Then pre-bunking the New York Post story about Hunter's laptop, the very real laptop from hell that Miranda probably knows inside and out better than anyone in the country. And now, you know, now we've got one prosecution after another, and one venue after another that's not favorable to Donald Trump. Are they trying to do the same thing and put cinder blocks on the scales of presidential elections, the deep state in favor of Joe Biden again?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what they are doing, putting cinder blocks on the scales of this election, as they have now in 2 previous election cycles. First by shielding Hillary Clinton and her pay-for-play scheme, then by shielding Joe Biden and Hunter Biden over their influence peddling scheme, and now by trying to throw Donald Trump into prison in the middle of the presidential campaign. How much more of this do we have to witness before we can all arrive at the obvious conclusion that the Department of Justice and the security state are working against our democracy and against the American people? If you compare the treatment Donald Trump has gotten, one false allegation after another, one investigation after another, his life torn upside down and torn apart. And you compare that to what we have seen from these IRS whistleblowers, as Miranda said, these courageous whistleblowers, and how the DOJ has bent over backwards to shield Joe Biden. When you compare those two things, you can arrive at no other conclusion but that you are right, Sean, and that the Department of Justice is corrupt.
All right. We appreciate your time. Stephen Miller, thank you. Miranda Devine, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.